Hey everyone, this is Charlie the Plug, your host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, powered by Empower You Ventures. Don't forget to subscribe so you too can be a part of the biggest empowerment network on YouTube and Facebook. We bring you weekly interviews of Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship, community involvement, also reaction to business news and community news. This does not happen without your support. Thank you. All right, welcome to episode 141 of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast. I am Charlie the Plug, Charles McKay, aka Charlie the Plug. Happy Monday to everyone. Happy Monday, and welcome to episode number 141. That's 141 episodes of Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship and community involvement. So I think we deserve to celebrate. So thanks those who are joining us live. Please join in on the conversation in the chat. We try to recognize comments, questions for our guests. So we have an interesting topic. An iconic guest has graced our presence for episode 141. But happy Monday to everyone. Celebrating. Also, we want to recognize Black History Month. We celebrate the contributions that African Americans have made to help build this country, whether it's inventors, innovators, politicians, civil rights leaders. I think in honor of Black History Month, our guest today, her work in the financial literacy space is something to celebrate. If you're finding value in what we're doing, please like, subscribe, share. We want to show the algorithm on YouTube, Facebook, that positive, uplifting content is very important, and that we want that too, not just being messy and spilling the tea, but we want information that's going to help empower, encourage, uplift, and educate people. So please like and share with your friends. Before we go into introduce our guests, I want to recognize our podcast sponsor. I'm going to bring this slide up here. Okay, so we wanted to give a shout out to our podcast sponsor. This episode of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast is brought to you by Bridget Williams Frazier. She is the owner and founder of Global Connecting Consulting, your trusted guide through life's toughest challenges. If you're navigating difficult times, feeling overwhelmed, but you don't have to do it alone, Global Connecting Consulting offers more than just advice. It's a network of supporting mentorship, real-life experience to help you grow and succeed. Bridget Williams Frazier knows firsthand what it takes to overcome obstacles. She's committed to empowering you to take control of your life, your relationships, and your future. Whether you're facing adversity or just looking for clarity, she provides practical guidance and encouragement you need. It's time to stop struggling in silence. Take the first step toward a brighter future with Global Connecting Consulting. Reach out today. You'll see the website on the banner there. You can reach out to her to schedule an appointment. She also is the author of a book called Who Am I? And in a world filled with uncertainty, where questions of purpose and identity linger, Bridget Williams Frazier delivers a book that will ignite your spirit and unlock the truth within. Who Am I? is not just a book, it's a journey, a roadmap for those searching for direction, passion, and meaning in their lives. So if you are ready to discover your true self, don't wait. Grab your copy of Who Am I? You can get that on Amazon. So I want to encourage everybody to support our sponsor. Without our sponsors and then the audience, this is a way to support independent media in Detroit that highlights stories you may not hear on legacy media or local media. So shout out to our sponsor. All right, so let's, I'm going to do a formal introduction of our guests. So for episode 124, I'm going to do a formal reading because I want to highlight what she does. So our guest has an incredible story of resilience, empowerment, and financial wisdom, from foster care to becoming a national recognized financial expert, best-selling author, sought-after speaker. In this episode, we're going to learn from our guest as she shares her inspiring journey from humble beginnings to financial success, essential wealth building tips for individuals and families, how she helps communities achieve financial literacy and empowerment, behind the scenes stories from working with top companies like Ford, GM, Wells Fargo's, and more, her experience as a TEDx speaker, her work with Harvard University, as well as many other organizations, been recognized by Oprah, CNN, MSNBC, and countless other national platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to episode number 141, none other than Gail Perry-Mason. So I'd like to start out our podcast just with a simple question. So, people may have heard about you. I think you are a trailblazer in the financial literacy industry for many years. But there may be some people who may have heard about you for the first time. So if someone's to ask you, who is Gail Perry-Mason, what would you tell them?
So first of all, I want to say congratulations to you, Charles. Let me say that. The first thing I want to say definitely is congratulations to you. Mm-hmm. Episode 141 is amazing.
Yes,
you already have 141 episodes behind you.
Thank you.
And I think that's great. And also your sponsor, Bridget, she's the bomb. Like, wait a minute, everybody needs that journey, that journal, that book. Yes. And to talk to someone because everybody has a journey. So you asked me about my journey, and I think, and we all need people like Bridget on our journey. Right. It's just she wasn't around then. So I'm sure I'm much older than her. Right. But anyway, so she wasn't even around then, but we all needed that. But did I have that? Of course I didn't. So my journey, getting in the financial service industry was a little bit different than the average person. So I don't know if you want to start my journey through foster care, or where do you want to
what is start my whole journey? Yeah. So I want to kind of give a backstory.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So, and just in preparation for this interview, some things that I wasn't aware, because you didn't know this. In my day job as a civil servant, there was a time where I worked in Child Protective Services.
Oh, wow.
So I know a little bit firsthand with foster care and investigation and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I didn't know that you at some point was in care. And my dad, he's deceased now. He was actually given up at birth from his birth parents. And he never got officially adopted. He actually went to different foster care homes, and that had a traumatic impact on his life. And he took a turn for a season where, substance abuse got a hold of his life. He got clean later in life, but he was impacted in a negative way from foster care. But it looks like you had a different experience. So share with our audience.
You know what? And it was divine. It was all God. I can definitely say that. But my name used to be Stephanie.
Okay.
My name was Stephanie Rose Rick. And so I was left at a hospital here, which is now Hudso. It was used to call Women's Hospital back in the day.
Yes.
So my biological mother just left me there.
Wow.
And just walked off and left me. And then, so then the hospital had to end up putting me down as a ward of the state.
Wow.
And then I went straight into foster care. So I went
as a baby. Wow.
As a newborn.
Wow.
So, but the thing is, and this is why, and I can understand where your father's coming from, because back then they had it where, they would send you there. So I still have the papers that my adopted mother, eventually after 4 years of being in foster care, somebody finally took me in.
Okay.
But they said I was special needs, hard to place. So I was in foster care, and they said I'll never be able to walk, never be able to talk. So they labeled me. I had like hip dysplasia or something like that. They said she'll never walk. They have braces on my legs because you get more money if something's wrong with the child in foster care. So they labeled me. So that's why I do not like labels on children.
Right.
So I was special needs, hard to place. So then after finally going from foster care home, my adopted mother, she ended up, I was 4 years of age, couldn't walk or talk at the age of 4. Mm-hmm. And her mother was in her 80s. So it was two older women took me in. When they were in their 50s and 80s. They took me in when I was 4. They changed my name to Gail, and I took my mom's middle name, Frankie. So I became Gail Frankie, and there was another name at the time because I adopted again. But anyway, so fast forward, an African-American doctor came over because I would not stop crying. His name was Dr. Arthur Thompson.
Okay.
And I would not stop crying. So then the doctor said, look, this is what, so he looked at the paperwork and said, look, just love her, hold her, and talk to her. Because when I was at the hospital, at Hudson or Women's Hospital, the nurses don't hold you or things like that. Now I sit on the board of the hospital, and I want to make sure all the children that are left there are held and loved. That makes such a big difference in a child's life.
Right.
And I always say love means let obstacles vanish effortlessly.
Right.
All children need love. So I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk or anything until my grandmother, who's in her 80s, said, I'll take the job to love her. Because the doctor said, just love her. The only thing I remember, I didn't have any hair, they said. So they put this something called Glover's mane, sulfur on my hair just to make it grow.
Wow. And
they would just brush my hair and talk to me and love me. And now, of course, I never shut up, Charles, as you can tell. So
no, it's good. That's good.
I never shut up. So, but during that time, I had older parents, and they, of course, they died when I was younger, but still, my grandmother died when I was 9, but still, that's my family related by love.
Right.
So I think all the children that are in foster care, that's why I help out a lot of children in foster care now.
Right.
Is because I know all they need is
love.
The prescription of love.
Okay.
And that's it. So that's why. So, and I said, your father probably never received that.
Yes.
During that time. And that makes the biggest difference. So that's why I talk to all the children. I go to Covenant House, I go to foster care homes, and I try to just give love.
Yes.
I love love. So,
yes. Oh, wow. Shout out to the power of love.
It's more powerful than anything. And that's what, of course, the world needs now.
Yes.
So,
Now, so I want to go to, at some point, so you had a good foundation. You met loving parents that took you in.
Yes, it was a mother, and she was just, she never had an opportunity to go to college.
Right.
Never, and my grandmother didn't. And then eventually I was adopted. That's how I got the name Perry.
Right.
At the age of 12, my mother got married and had to go to court.
Right.
Adopted, get the name Perry.
Right.
And he was a truck driver, 10th grade education. So I didn't have the love. It wasn't the education. It wasn't the wealth.
Right.
It was the love.
Right.
Yes, definitely.
So how did you get your introduction to thinking about financial literacy and all that stuff? How did that happen?
Okay, let me tell you what happened. Now, that's a whole other story. So I ended up, I went away to college.
Okay.
My parents never had an opportunity to go to college. So
now, where did you go to high school? I know you.
I went to St. Martin de Porres.
Oh, St. Martin de Porres.
St. Martin de Porres.
Okay, shout out to
right down the street where I lived.
Right.
It was on 12th Street at the time, Rosa Parks. So anyway, I went there and I worked at McDonald's. And I told all my friends that worked with me at McDonald's, we're going to college, you all. They're like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. So I said, let's go to a party at Michigan and a party at Eastern. I got accepted to Michigan and Eastern.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, we're going to what college? Best party was at Eastern. I went to Eastern.
Okay.
So anyway, went to Eastern. And then after I went to Eastern,
what did you major in? Like, what would you?
I majored in biology. I want to become a child psychiatrist and help out children.
Wow.
I majored in biology.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had very strict, my mother was very strict. Everybody was strict. It was just strict. Didn't talk about anything at home except for you can't do this, can't do this, can't do this. Very strict. So I went away to college. I was like, whoa, I don't have to answer anybody. I can get in when I want to, blah, blah, blah. Well, anyway, which nobody really, well, I shouldn't say it. But anyway, I got my second year of college. I got pregnant.
Oh,
my adopted mother said she was old school.
Yeah.
I'm going to get married, blah, blah, blah. But I got married, pregnant, divorced all within 6 months, and nobody knows which came first. But anyway, fast forward.
Wow.
So fast forward. It didn't, I had to just go through the whole process.
Wow.
So I ended up having my oldest son, who graduated from Wharton Business School, amazing.
Right.
He was the most amazing young man ever. But I ended up having my son. And my mother was like, Gail, I had to get a job. So I went to school at night. U of D had a night school. So I started going to their business school at night, switched my major to business. And it was right down on Jefferson, which became a law school. It used to be the business school. So I ended up going to school at night. And then I had my son. And I needed, of course, a job. mailed my resume out everywhere, and a brokerage firm called me, Charles, a brokerage firm. I'm like, oh my God, it's God. I'm broke. Brokerage firm. Did not know what a brokerage firm did.
They randomly called you?
I sent out my resume. I mailed it out. You mail it out back in the day.
Oh, you saw the title brokerage firm? And you thought about, I need money.
Broke.
I'm broke.
Brokerage firm. So didn't know anything about financial literacy. I just knew I was broke.
Oh my God.
Because I like to talk, as you can tell, so I became the receptionist at a brokerage firm. So I ended
up. This wasn't Oppenheimer. This was something else.
It was another firm.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Another firm. So I ended up, people come in the front door, nobody looked like us.
Right.
Not one person looked like us. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. So it was all males too.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally a young lady came in. She was white though, but a young lady came in. And I was like, hey, how are you? And I was just so curious. And I was in my early, my 20s. And I was like, hey, where'd you get your money from? Me, this was my thinking. You come in with money. And she's like, I got $1 million to invest. And I thought she hit the number,
right?
Case,
right? Yeah, it's got lawsuit,
yeah, got a case, whatever.
Right.
Where you get your money from? So she ended up saying, I got divorced, and this is my divorce. I'm like, well, girl, me too, but overdraft protection was my line of credit. Oh no, how'd you get $1 million? So she said she had children, and she never wanted to work a day in her life. She wanted to make her money work for her. And I was like, oh my God. That was so profound. Like, you're never gonna work.
Right.
You have $1 million, and you're not gonna work. You're gonna make it work for you. I'm like, wow. Yes. Like, how did that? So anyway, fast forward, I ended up learning. I always say success leaves clues.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I cased the situation out at my firm and asked if I become a secretary. So case means copy and steal everything. I started going into people's accounts, looking at the computer, not like Elon Musk, but anyway. But I started looking at people's accounts. I'm like, oh, they own this. I want to wear this. They own this. I want to drink this. They own this. So I was like, I looked at the stocks. I can't talk about individual stocks, of course, but wow, they're owning these companies.
Okay.
Well, I'm the consumer, and they're the owner, and they're wealthy, and I'm broke. So I said, wait a minute, I got to teach my people this. So I started, when I became a secretary, I started looking at things. I was going to school at night. But I was like, oh my God, this finance thing. People are making money. This is where wealth is. I got to teach my people this. So I ended up just making a pact, like with God, like, hey, I got to teach African Americans how to invest and how to actually, back then it wasn't called generational wealth. None of that stuff. I was just like, look, not be broke. That's all I was saying.
You're like, hey,
be broke.
You're tired of being broke.
I know.
You're tired of being broke. Learn about finance.
That was me. I mean, I was definitely broke. So,
right.
So I was like, okay, how can I do this? So I ended up reading, because I always say success leaves clues. You read about successful people. It was John Rogers. It was Melody Hobson. Melody Hobson was an intern.
Right.
So I ended up, she worked for John Rogers. I happened to call. Oh, let me say this. I started reading about them.
Right.
Then I asked my branch manager, hey, I want to become an investment advisor. They're like, oh, Gail, you'll never pass that test. 7-hour math test. Blah, blah. Wow. I was always good at math. And it's 7-hour math.
Because you did biology, so you had to be good with math.
Yeah, so I was like, no, I can pass this test. So they said, well, we're not going to pay for it. One of the secretaries who sat next to me paid for my test.
And that's the series. What series?
This is series 7.
Series 7. Okay.
So I do series 7, series 65, series 63. I did all those tests. But I didn't have enough money to pay for my own tests.
Wow.
So one of the secretaries in the
What was the test price at that time?
It probably was $100.
Oh, okay.
But I asked my mother, and she said, I don't have the money.
Right.
And you're not going to lose that good job.
Right.
Yeah, my mother worked for the government, and she retired. And she's like, you're not doing a good job.
Right.
So I was like, oh, Lord, what am I going to do? So she said, you got benefits, you have a child, you have a job.
Right.
Just stay there. And I was a secretary my whole life. Just be a secretary your whole life, Gail. And I was like, no, Mom, there's more to it. And she's like, yeah, let's not, So anyway, so I ended up, so once I passed the test, I ended up I tried to put on seminars. So I went to Wayne State's Purdy Library, learned how to write press releases.
Right.
I learned how to put together ads and put it in the Black MBA, the Black accountants, all
right.
So I started putting ads and everything. I said, put in a seminar at the St. Regis Hotel.
Right. Well, we're at my live studio is at.
You're right. So this is where my first seminar was right in this building, that room downstairs. So I had no money to put on the seminar. They charged me like $280 or something like that to rent the room and have water and cookies. That was all I had.
That's all you had.
Water and cookies. So I ended up putting the seminar. I had John Rogers come, Melody Hobson came, she was an intern. They came, and so I had no money. So I ended up asking my mother. She said, "Oh, nope." And I asked my branch manager. He said, "Nope, you're just a secretary, Gail." So I ended up taking a job as a waitress at night. I earned $300 in 2 weeks in tips. I never waited tables, never waited, getting drinks for people. People were rude, but I ended up was trying to be nice to everybody, wait on them, doing this. So I earned that money. I came down to this hotel right down here, dollar bills, quarters, everything. Just totally made it rain. Like, okay, this is all I got. Like, let me count this money out right now. So I counted the money out, ended up putting on the seminar here, had over like 200 people here.
Right.
We sat there, Melody and I sat there, and John Rogers did the talk, and we sat there and opened up over 100 accounts. And she got $25, start investing today, in his mutual fund, start investing. And I went back to my office. Look, I got opened up 100 accounts. They looked at me and said, "Gail, we don't even want these little accounts." I broke down and started crying in the office. I am a crybaby. I started crying like, no.
Wow.
They're like, "Gail, just go back and start answering the phone." So I went back. Then the branch manager said, "Gail, I'll come talk to you." And said, "Gail, we'll give you 90 days. You're not worth investing in. You're not worth, you're a single mother. You're Black. You're not going to ever make it."
Wow.
And they said, "So we're not going to put you through any training. We'll give you 90 days. You got to meet these numbers. If you don't make these numbers, they give me a chair with some wheels on it. We want you to roll over here, be an investment advisor. You don't make it, you're going to roll right back over and be a secretary. You don't ever threaten me and say I can't do something."
Right.
So I was like, "Oh, okay." I ended up, and the people I called on that day, I would always watch. I always read about these successful people. And thank God John Rogers gave me a list of clients locally here in Detroit that he managed money for. I called them up. Wayne State. They became my, like I called up different places and they actually became my client. And I was like, "Oh, look, I could do this. Not that I had any training or anything, but I'm like, I'm an investment advisor. I'm starting out. I just told, like, look, I'm starting out. What can I do for you? How can I serve you financially? Right. So if you go in humble and say, how can I serve you financially? I work for a good firm. We have the product. What can I do? And that's how I ended up starting. And then, never looked back, became vice president, this, that, whatever. Anyway, the rest is history. I'm not in the titles at all, but that's how I started. And that's why I give back. And that's why I teach. But I have had over 50 people. I'll see African Americans come in the door, try to get a job in the financial service industry. They never get hired. I'll say, nope, don't worry about it. I will put them on my payroll, pay them out of my commissions, and to get their start. All of those people who came through as, working with me, helping me out, doing my filing. I was in my 20s doing this. All of them, like, whether it's highest ranking Black female at banks or child swap or brokerage firms or whatever, they're doing better than me. The thing is that they rose higher than me and are doing better than me. They were younger than me. Now they're just like killing it in the financial service industry. So I've never taken home like a whole entire, people say, "Oh, Gail, you're a financial guru, blah, blah, blah." But I've always shared what I had because I always wanted to give other people opportunity, because poor means pass over opportunity repeatedly. So I think we have to do is always give other people opportunity, even if it costs you. It really doesn't cost you. It really, to see them grow is the biggest blessing ever.
Wow. Wow, you said so much. I wanted to take just a moment to kind of recap, because you dropped a lot of nuggets in just kind of explaining your journey. And I first want to go back to, I found it was quite interesting how you kind of stumbled upon, you were faced with a challenge. You're a single mother, had financial challenges, trying to go make it through school, going to night school, and you were looking for a way to kind of, better your situation. And as you were seeking, you found an opportunity. And even though there was barriers to the opportunity, you found a way to make it work. And I think that's important for those who are watching live and may watch the replay. I kind of have a philosophy that no one's going to come to save you, and you have to take initiative to make something work, even though there are barriers. And you showed helped us to show how resilient you were. That you got a job as a secretary, but you desired more. And despite the people you work for that discouraged you and said, well, you're Black and there's a stigma with that and you'll never make it, in investing, and maybe you don't have the acumen or the intelligence. Despite all that, you found a way to push through and break those barriers. And I think that's a lesson for us today. When I growing up, unfortunately, my parents kind of had some challenges in their life. So my grandparents were a stable force, but they just kind of told me, stay out of trouble, go to school, get a job. And if you did that, that was fine. I didn't know anything about investments and financial literacy until it got really popular in the 2000s. And, books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad and all that stuff. The books by you that put out. But I just was not raised in that environment. Just kind of like stay out of trouble, get a job. I remember when I was in college at Wayne State, I got a job at Chrysler. And my grandfather had worked for Chrysler and retired. And in my neighborhood, if anybody associated with UAW or employment, it was kind of like you made it to the NBA, the NFL. Well, I know. You started working I remember when I got the job, even though I was in college and I wanted to finish college, when I got that job, my grandparents was like, oh, you're set now. You're set for life now. Right. But it was a lot of ups and downs. And I still went to school and finished school and had other aspirations. But it was like, you get in the plant, you straight. And but there's more in terms of I didn't know about generational wealth. It's just like I got a job and a down payment. Right. I could go get a car, get a place to live, and that was it. But there's more. So getting back to you now this is before you got to Oppenheimer, right? When you okay. How did you prepare for all these licenses and all that? You just
you don't need one. So I would take my son to the library, Brandon, and I would study, and he would study. He was 3 years old going to the library. So,
go ahead.
Yeah, so he was like 3 years old going to the library, and I would just study for just different exams. And it definitely was not easy. Mm-hmm. And then even recently, just even a few years ago, and I had a situation where and we have situations all the time, but where I got some. You got it. Okay.
Oh, I got it.
Okay, so but anyway, you have this. I had a situation where I had to retake a test because they parked my license like in a wrong state or something. I forgot what happened, but it wasn't, of course, my error. But I had to retake one of the tests, which was difficult. So I ended up having to do that. And that was, it's like doing it all over again. And I was like, oh my God. So those tests are not that easy. I'll put it that way. Not at all. So, but I just had to pass one just a couple of years ago. So. Okay.
Yeah. No, we're good. We're live, so you can have to adjust the camera. So I guess we're gonna have to use the main camera here.
Okay. Well, whatever happens, remember everything happens for a reason. Divine order. It's all good.
All right. So wow. Man, that's just amazing. The resilience and your dedication. So was that okay to kind of to help your community in terms of helping people get into? Why was there so many like gatekeepers, in your opinion, in the financial service industry?
You know what? If you really look at the financial service industry, it's not a lot of us.
Right.
And the financial is Black History Month.
Right.
And I want more of us in the financial service industry. Okay. I just had a meeting today. We have National Association of Securities Professionals, which is mostly, African American. It's all, African American women in the financial service industry, where we help each other out and help them get in the financial service industry. So I encourage it all the time. That I think, if we the more that we can help each other out with learning about financial literacy, the younger generation, all this other stuff, and so I just think they can get the word out more. And I think the next generation is just going to definitely create so much wealth because they take risk and they do have more opportunities, but they take risk and then they're so smart. And so I look at all these, and that's why I do the Money Matters for Youth.
Okay.
I look at them, that generation. Oh my God, these are youth. They are really, they know what companies to buy. They're just so brilliant. And I'll put it that way. When people talk about our youth in Detroit or our youth all over,
I got the slide up.
They are, our Money Matters. Oh my God, I know those are my babies right there. Those are my babies. Those are my hearts, everything. And I actually take youth from all different backgrounds. Youth that are in foster care, youth that have parents that are incarcerated, our youth from everywhere else, from Jack and Jill, all over, put everybody together, and they start a business together. Because, you talk about entrepreneurship, you talk about businesses, you talk about, and they can build a portfolio so well, our youth can. Yeah. They know what they're buying. They know what they're spending their money on.
Yes.
So they actually can build a portfolio. You look at I ask them now, hey, what do you think? Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you, I think about different companies now. And they're like, okay, let me do my research. Let me check it out. Let me do it. And I'm like, wow, look at these, our youth. They'll say, this is what people are wearing now, or this is what people are buying now, or this is the music people are listening to now. Or these are the concerts we're going to go to, or this is the, this is where we're going to order our food from, And I tell my kids, they better not order from Uber Eats. I'm going DoorDash. I think it's a waste of money, but anyway, it's a whole other story. But I always talk to them about that. I'm like, nope. You can't buy all this stuff. You can't do things like that.
So what would you tell someone who's watching, who's interested in getting into the financial services, maybe being a financial planner or an advisor? What are some of the things that they should know about? How do they get into it? What are some of the, I know you broke barriers, but what's the first step?
So the first step is, actually talk to different firms and ask, see if they have a training program, see if they have, and then locally. And I don't know if this is local or whatever, like people right here in Detroit, like you have so many not a lot, but you have a few African Americans. I'll give a shout out to like Ellis Liddell.
Ellis Liddell, yeah.
Yeah, and I love Ellis. And Ellis has built his own empire. If you ask me, I think, he's done an excellent job at having a one-stop shop. Okay. And he took his risk, did that, and he built an empire on doing different things. So I have to say, even, call a person like, Ellis Liddell, sit down with them, spend the day with them, call different, individuals who have their actual, insurance companies. Right. Insurance is another thing. Gerald Scruggs, Monique, and this one amazing, I got to give my insurance agent, a shout out too, but she's amazing. Okay. I'm might give her a shout out a little bit. You need her on the show too. Okay. So but she does all these live stream things every day. And, but there's so many individuals that are different segments of the insurance industry, or the financial service industry. That I think that they should actually, just start investigating.
Now, do you have to have any type of schooling, or just?
You can get your degree in economics. You can get in marketing. Okay. You can get it because it's mostly.
Now, do you have to have a degree to take the series tests, or?
You know what? I don't think so.
Okay. Or does that help? I don't know if that helps.
It does help. It does help. I think you got no math.
You got to know math. So that's the thing. You got to know math.
Yeah, that's what.
If the math ain't math, and you may have a hard time.
I know, but then they have the municipal bonds. We have to read a lot.
Right.
My math outweighed my municipal bond. Knowing all the rules and regulations and that. So I'm like, okay, I know this well. So this is the biggest part of the test: options and math and all of that. So I just said, okay, I can handle that part. So yeah.
We're going to get into kind of specifically what you do and how some of the services you offer to the community and programs. I know you hit it on the youth money.
The youth program, that's my passion.
Right, that's your passion.
The youth is my passion, and that's it. That's what I love. I believe I believe we all have assignments in life. Yeah. So that's one of my assignments that I have.
Yes. So we're going to get into some of the things you do, how people can work with you. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. And then we're going to get specifically in
commercial breaks and everything.
Yes. Hey, Detroit.
Are you a Detroit area small business owner, entrepreneur, leader of a nonprofit organization, or a business service provider? And are you looking for ways to share your product, service, or your programs with a local Detroit audience? Let us help you increase your reach by becoming an ad sponsor with the Detroit Metro Plug podcast powered by Empower You Ventures. Our weekly video podcast is a growing local feature on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn that focuses on local business and community news. This gives you a chance to connect with local Detroit customers or clients. We offer cost-effective ads to fit your needs. Click the link to learn more about our current ad specials. And remember, connections matter. This is Charlie the Plug with the Detroit Metro Plug podcast. All right, we're back. I want to recognize our sponsor for today, for the platinum sponsor. Recognize Bridget Williams Frazier. She is the founder and owner of Global Connecting Consultant. She helps people navigate through difficult times. If you're feeling overwhelmed, but you don't know how to do it, you don't have to do it alone. She offers more than just advice. It's a network of support, mentorship, and real life experience to help you grow and succeed. Her website is on the banner below. You can reach out to the website, click on to schedule an appointment. She's also author of the book, Who Am I? You can get that on Amazon. Through real life stories, powerful insights, faith-driven wisdom, Bridget shares the lessons she learns, triumphs, and challenges alike, showing you how to embrace your own journey with clarity and confidence. Whether you're a student in need of guidance, someone feeling lost, or just looking for inspiration, this book will meet you where you are and lead you to where you were meant to be. So you can get that on Amazon. All right. So we're back with our guest, Gail Perry-Mason, and I'm switching these cameras. One-man show over here. So we talked about basically your backstory from foster care to resilience, how you broke the barriers into the financial literacy space. And this was at a time where, we know it's kind of popular now. With what's going on with financial literacy, but you was this like in the 90s where you
Oh yeah,
okay,
yeah, definitely back in the day. Yeah,
back in the day. Okay,
back in the day. Yes,
back in the day. So let's go into what is specifically what is your niche in terms of financial services? What do you specifically do?
So I am an investment advisor. That's what I do for a living. I always do for a living, but it's what I do for a life. So for a living, I'm a financial advisor. So I actually work, at a Wall Street firm, and I invest for others and just help them with their plans, with, and sometimes I'll say, I'll say I'm a financial therapist a lot of times, because people come, it's like, okay, Gail, whether I'm going through a divorce or my, parents passed away, this happened, that happened, or I want to make sure my kids go to college, or I want to make sure this. So I actually, and I'm going to tell you the most rewarding thing about what I do, besides, helping them succeed goals, their financial goals, it's like going to the children's graduation, going to a closing on a home. When they say, oh, I need to save for a down payment for a home, and you do this. Oh, if I show up at that closing, I am so excited. Like, okay, we did this together. So in my practice, I speak a lot of French. Like, okay, we got to get these kids through college. Like, right. We have to buy this house. We have to buy this real estate. We have to start this business. So what I do is not only I'm part of I become family with most of my clients, first and foremost.
Okay.
But not only that, I have to tell all my clients, and I can tell everybody needs their own personal board of directors. So I'm just kind of like on their board. So I'm like basically part of their board of their personal board of directors, or I call myself part of their family. But I tell everybody, like, they need individuals like, for example, Bridget, somebody like your sponsor on their board, somebody to inspire them, somebody to talk to them. They need an accountant. They need an attorney. They need a banker. They need a credit union. They need, someone to help to lift them up spiritually, somebody physically.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go in a minute. Like, okay, clients, let's go for a walk. Let's, let's do a 5K together. Let's do a 5K and learn how to save 5K. Let's do this together. Like, we're going to go do these steps together.
Right.
But then this way, you work it out, work it. So I said, let's just try to do. So I do a lot of different things, with my clients. Sometimes one time we had cooking lessons.
Wow.
We talked about portfolios, like how to put everything together.
Now, do you focus on wealth management, retirement?
I focus on wealth management,
short-term goals, long-term goals?
Short-term, long-term.
Okay.
The whole,
college funding? Okay.
Yeah, college funding. Yeah, just to make sure. So I focus on the family mostly.
Okay.
So I focus on the whole entire family. I take more of a holistic approach to my clients. Okay. So, now it's getting to be a lot.
How does, if a client reaches out to you and they want some financial services, what is your fiduciary responsibility? Do you?
Yeah, I do have a fiduciary responsibility, of course, because I have a Series 65 and a Series, now because of the way our business is ran, we have fiduciary responsibility.
Okay.
Right, which means we are responsible. We have to take, what we put them in. We have to be more. Of course, you have to, do the right thing. Right. Basically, is a fiduciary responsibility, and I think that that's a great thing. Okay. In our industry.
So you're not just pushing certain products. You're looking at.
We don't even have any products in my firm. Like, we don't have any proprietary products. Right. So I don't. So it's just kind of like you look at everybody.
Look at their needs and you put something together.
Like a doctor. You look at their needs.
Okay,
like
that's great.
You look at somebody's needs. It's like, okay, they don't need this. Okay. Matter of fact, they might not even need me at the time. Right. I'm like, okay. People come to my office. I'm like, okay, this is what I need you to do. You need to do this. These are your steps you're going to take. And I'll see you in maybe 6 months or a year, like a doctor, for a financial checkup. Okay, you get this. Okay, now you can become my client later on. But I don't do the things like, okay, come in. No, I need you to start saving. I need you to start paying off your debt. Okay. I need you to do this. I need you to do this because you want to do the right thing for people and make sure that they're good and that they feel comfortable. And I can sleep at night. They can sleep at night. Okay. So you want to make sure. And then things are going, there's so many things going on.
What are the three key things you advise people when they're trying to get their financial health together?
I advise them, and I look at people, and I tell them also they can get a coach. If you look at, I don't know if you know Dorothea Kelly, Robin Thompson. I refer them to people also. They have financial coaches that will help to get their credit together, their debt together, and coach them through. And also, get them ready for me later on. So that's on the board of directors. I tell people all the time, like, make sure you get, even have a financial coach. Somebody to help you get their financial report card, their credit together, their, different things. Just
so you refer them to a coach to get ready for you because you're more.
Sometimes Sometimes I'll say, and I won't. They won't be my client, but I'll just say, hey, this is it. Might come talk to me. Say, Gail, this is what I need. Right. And I'll say, oh no, okay. Then this is where you got to talk to. There's so many even great coaches out here that are like beyond amazing. They're right here in the city of Detroit and all over. I don't know if you ever I tell them, like, I'll buy them books, like the Budgetista's book. I don't know if you know the Budgetista.
Yeah, I know who Budgetista.
Oh my gosh, she's so amazing. She's one of my favorite people. As a matter of fact, she calls me her mentor.
Okay.
But she's one of my kids. I mean, one of the beautiful people I love and just always want to support. But I always buy her book for people. But just individuals out here who, Sean Robinson. I mean, people watch her on CNN. I mean, not Sean. Sean Robinson is great as a person, but Sean Epperson on CNBC. And people watch her, right? Watch her. She gives the best tips, on CNBC. So, but I can say this because I'm not actually, because I can't go anywhere and give financial advice to people like on a podcast or anything like this. But I can say, always, look at people who are giving really good advice and just I would say in layman terms, right? And not like, okay, you gotta do this, all this other, just different things. So I always say, just get the people, and then people feel comfortable with different people. Mm-hmm. So some people might want, to work with a male, or might want to work with, other people, and it's always okay. Yeah. Sometimes husband and wives come in, but I love to do everything as a family. Now,
I got on the slides your two books.
Oh yeah, thank you for doing that. Okay.
Yeah. So as you were talking about coaching and advice, tell me the difference with these books and who are these books are for?
Okay, so Money Matters for families. I ended up doing that years ago. Oh my God, so many years ago. And I did it for when Chrysler.
Mm-hmm.
I did it for the training facility at the time. So they basically bought that book. That was my first time ever writing a book, ever in my entire life. And it was such a blessing to do that. And then Girl Make Your Money Grow with Glenda Bridgeforth. Oh my God, she's an amazing financial coach. She since retired. But her and I got together because she was helping people coaching. And then I did the financial planning. So it was kind of like we just joined together and wrote the book together. So, so Girl Make Your Money Grow is available on Amazon. And now I'm working on another book.
All right, tell us what the other book.
Okay, let me do it. It's not, I'm just working on it. But it's called From a Full-Figure Woman to a Seven-Figure Woman, A Woman's Guide to Shifting Her Assets. The worst thing in the world is to be fat and broke. So you never want to weigh more than your credit score.
Oh my God, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
I know it is. So the thing is, I'm trying to not, I think health is our real wealth.
Health is wealth.
So
yes. And you look great. I follow you on Instagram. I know you work out
right now like a fiend. Like I work out a lot, but
yeah, that's good.
But working out,
yes.
and working out your finances, working out your body, working out your health.
Right.
Because I know some people who do have money, and they don't have their health.
Right.
And so I watch them now, like, wait a minute, I gotta make sure I got my health. I gotta make sure I got this. So, but I want to make sure. But I do it. This journey is not about me. It's about taking others with you. So I'm like, okay, come on, everybody. I start encouraging everybody, work out. Come on, let's go work out. Let's go run. Let's go do this. Let's do this.
Right.
And then also, like, okay, let's save together. Let's work out together. Let's do things together.
Okay.
So I think, so it's about, because the same thing most people, because I'm going to tell you, I don't know if you are, but I am an emotional eater.
Okay. Yes.
You get stressed, you eat.
Yeah, you get stressed, you eat.
You get stressed, you eat. And I'm like, oh my God, here's my chips, chips. And,
chips.
Yeah, chips or whatever. So, but then I stopped. Like, okay, I gotta stop being an emotional eater. Yes. So, so we gotta like look at different things that we do. You gotta know. So that's what the book is about. Is stop being emotional. We gotta how do you stop becoming emotional?
So health and health is wealth. Health and wealth. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like So,
that's great.
So yeah, so I'm trying to work on that now. And then another book I want to do is ROI. Return on assets.
Okay.
I have so many young people that are just, and my return on assets, I want to do success stories on these amazing young people. They're doing so well in the world now because one is one of the largest Black female venture capital funds. It's like one of my first people who came to the camp. She's like a catalyst for Money Camp. Yeah. And she's in DC, but she's beyond, like she's just doing so well. I'm beyond proud of her. Right. So it's kind of like I want to just talk about all these, Alexis, Black Tech Saturday.
Right.
Money Camp. I mean, you look at all these people who are doing well. It's like, oh my God, look at all these people. So I want to do ROI, return on investment.
Yeah.
These return on investments. I mean, this looking at them now.
I think that's awesome. That's a good segue to your passion project with the
Money.
Money Matters. And I want to show our audience the website. And now, when is that? How did that all get started? And when do you usually have the camp? And I'm going to share this the website with folks. Okay. So when do you usually do the camp, and how did that all get started?
So the Money Camp, it started because I was reading the Wall Street Journal one day, and the Wall Street Journal had a rich kids camp, and you had to pay. This was years ago. You had to pay $10,000 to come to the camp, and you had to bring $10,000 with you. Right. And I was like, whoa, like this camp, now your parents have to have like 50 million in assets. But wait a minute. Nobody in this who goes to this camp looks like me. Right. I'm gonna do one in Detroit for $50. So right where Bass Blue is right now, is that used to be like an old museum ran by a lady named Miss Josephine. Yeah. Who and she charged me $50 to host my camp there. Okay. $50. That's it. For a whole week, I housed my children and hosted my camp. And then Miss Marilyn Evans, she taught my etiquette for me. And Niles Hernan, who is another person you need to have on the podcast. He's amazing. We're going to take time now. But Niles, he ended up, he helped me with my etiquette too, but he was in the very first camp, and he's doing very well now too. Talk about ROI. But so anyway, I just ended up putting it on for $50 if they could pay $50. And I gave him a $50 savings bond. This is back in the day. And then now our youth are, so then I started doing that, but then it kept growing and growing and growing and growing. So I had to go different places like, Marygrove, U of D, all these different places. Now we've outgrown everywhere. But I have now, we have like thousands on a waiting list.
How many kids normally are at the camp?
Like 350.
Wow.
But we divide them up like stock: small cap, mid cap, large cap. Small cap.
And it's for 1 week or?
Yes, middle school is mid cap, and large cap is high school. So we divide up the youth, and they actually, and I put sports and money together. So it's not like talking heads. That's how you learn about stock. We go to PAL, and they run around the bases, the baseball field. You have to run from base to base, learning financial terms. What's a stock? What's a bond? So go through the bases, then they hit a home run in life. Then they play basketball. They have to shoot their best shot in life. They have to write on the ball, what am I going to do to shoot my best shot in life? They have to do their goal planning when they play soccer and write all their goals on a soccer ball. So they become ballers. And then they also have, like, we have technology. We had the, Black Tech Saturdays come out, but we also have video game buses or trucks. And they actually learn like the stocks, what Microsoft stock, Xbox, anything. They have to know what the stocks are before they get on there and know what the stock is doing. So we have the technology day, Tuesday. They learn that. They learn the etiquette.
Do they stay on the campus of? No.
Oh, they come. Too many kids. Yeah, too many kids.
So they come there in the morning.
But I keep the kids only, like, if we go to the New York Stock Exchange. We stay the night, of course. We go on HBCU tour. We go to.
Oh, it's not in all in Michigan. It's
no. I mean, I still take them on trips throughout the year.
Oh, throughout the year. Okay.
Yeah, we're going. Matter of fact, in June, which it hasn't been announced yet, but we are going to DC in June. I'm not going to on the college tour this year because I'm focusing on my youth becoming change agents.
Okay.
So they have. I got a jar. I just ordered a jar. It should be at my house today. Yeah. So I ordered jars for all our youth that says "Be the change that you want to see."
Right.
So they're gonna actually collect change because change adds up.
Right. So
I'm having them collect change, and we're gonna actually make a difference in Detroit. So our youth that do not have lunch, that the funding, if it goes away, for lunches or whatever, they're gonna actually donate, whether to Detroit Public School Foundation, whether to Covenant House, whether different places that house children and help out. So you're gonna actually make change.
All right.
And then they're going to use their voices. They're going to Congress. So that's what we're doing. And I'm so excited to do this. I talked to a few of my youth so far and said we're going to do this. So I'm trying to get our group of youth together to actually become change agents and to bring change and to go to Congress. And this is what we're going to do. And so they're going to make an impact from their voices because this affects them more than anyone. They also are going to start right here locally in the city of Detroit.
Wow. I got up for our audience to see your website, how they could. I don't know if these are the dates for this camp. Is it still open for people to register?
Well, it will be open back in April. We're going to open it for 4 minutes total.
Oh.
Because we sell out in 90 seconds, but we're going to leave it open for 4 full minutes.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I want to make sure I heard that right. So when it's open registration.
90 seconds.
You get 300 kids in 90 seconds?
Yeah.
From the Michigan area? Where? From all across the country?
Yeah, people come from North Carolina. One person came from Hong Kong. I mean, people come from all over. It is crazy.
Wow. And it's the Summer 25 camp, July 21st to 25th.
So we might open up like 100 spots.
I see the small camp, mid cap, large cap.
So we open up 100 spots. And now we're going to open up the rest of them in April.
Okay.
So we're going to do that so people can register then. Yes.
So tell me which one of these videos I should play. Is there testimonial?
The city of Detroit. The one right there. This one? Yeah, okay. That's good. Yeah.
My name is Gail Perry-Mason, and for a living, I invest for others, and for life, I invest in others. I serve, and that's what I love to do. I founded Money Matters for Youth Camp in Detroit 26 years ago. We help our youth find the value in themselves, then the value in each other, and then the value of the dollar. So it's really about empowering our youth to learn about economic empowerment. Our youth need exposure and they need development. It's not all about the value of the dollar, but it's about the value of empowering each other with knowledge, with wisdom, with love. Why it's important to me is because somebody had sewed into me years ago. Our youth have done so well as young investors. They built portfolios, but the main thing they did is they came together. They started businesses together. They don't exchange dollars for hours. They pay themselves in dividends. I use money as a tool to reach our young people, but really it's about them learning the value of themselves.
Okay. All right.
Was that one short, that video?
Yes. Okay. So we had the website they can go to.
Yes.
I have it here on this slide here. So yeah, moneymattersforyouth.com. You have I think it's a waiting list, or you're going to open up registration?
Yeah, we're opening up registration again in April.
In April. Okay. All right.
And then we'll start a waiting list after that.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah, but April will be our longest time. We will open for 4 minutes total.
All right. And we have a slide. So there's if you want to encourage those who are watching, you can follow Gail Perry-Mason on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn to find out what she's doing, upcoming events. As we kind of wrap things up, any closing words of wisdom about financial literacy? I don't want to ask you.
What's that?
So a lot of people, I follow some people who are into kind of like short-term trading. I don't know, option contracts and stuff like that. You're not into that. You're into more long-term buy and hold type things.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
I'm more conservative.
Okay, all right.
Like
so you're not into Yeah, there's a guy I follow, the Wall Street Trapper.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
and he has his classes on how to buy option contracts.
Yeah,
and
they
stuff
do
like
that, and they're not licensed.
Okay, yeah. So that's all totally different. So day trading, all that stuff. So explain how that's different. Day trading options than what you do.
No, what they talk about, like watching it, which is like so great and so wonderful, but I can't, do that. I can't risk my license, so I can't do anything like that. But
so they're unlicensed.
Correct.
Okay.
They can do it. They can talk about stuff like that.
Oh, so if you're licensed, you can't talk.
Oh no,
I don't know that. I didn't know that.
No, not at all. Yeah,
okay.
Not at all. That's why I'm real particular about what I'm saying.
Right, what you say, right?
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah, I have to. So, and then that's for best,
right?
Because they can sue anything can happen.
Right.
So I just want to make sure you do the right thing.
Yeah.
So.
Any parting words or words of advice you want to give to our audience?
So I would say, parting words is definitely invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself.
But invest in others.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think investing in others has the best returns in life.
Yes.
So the return is priceless if you invest in others. And it's not about how much money you make. Yeah. It's really about how much money you keep.
Okay.
And everybody needs to act their wage.
Mm-hmm. Act their wage. Okay.
Yes. And I think we need to, and as a family, we need to make family plans.
Yes.
So I think we have to, and I encourage people to go, get an estate plan.
Mm-hmm.
And because if not, you don't have an estate plan, the state gonna plan it for you.
The state gonna plan.
So I'm like, no, you have to have. So I want to see our families actually come together and invest together and eat dinner together and talk about, like what are the plans and what they can do and I think it'll make the families better. If we make the families better, we make the neighborhood better.
Right.
We make the community better. And everybody comes together.
So I think you dropped some, as we say, bars or nuggets. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. I like that.
And invest in others.
And invest in others and serve and invest others.
Yeah, serving is the best thing.
Why in particular in our community, there's this racial wealth gap. Why is there such a gap in resistance maybe to financial literacy? What are some of the things we could do to improve that?
I think just talk to people. I will see young people out, at the mall spending so much money on this. I'm like, well, you do own that company? Like, why are you buying it? Blah, blah, blah. They're like, I can own it. I'm like, yeah. Why would you own it? Like, so I'll, show them this, get this app, do this. Right. So I actually talk to them, there. And it's like, it's just a way I think we approach people. And it's just the knowledge of just talking to one another.
Right.
And I think we need to share our knowledge. As people say, everybody got like a rich aunt, a rich uncle, whatever. I encourage everybody to talk to them. How did you become wealthy? Like how? And they'll probably say, I didn't spend, as much as. So you look at that, and then you can talk to somebody. And I tell people, you buy money down. Talk to somebody broke, and tell them, no, really, you talk to somebody broke, you learn so much.
Right.
Like, whoa, I do not want to be like that. I'm like, wait a minute, hold
Right.
up. I cannot be like that. So actually do that. Just
Okay.
actually really, just talk to people. And
So
you know
talk.
what? And it's never too late. It's
Okay.
never too late to start saving. It's never too late for a second chance.
Right.
It's never too late. God gives us second chances every single day. Thank God.
Thank
For
God.
that. And so I think, it's never too late for anything.
Okay.
And I think we have to, and there is strength in numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And there is strength in coming together and pulling
Mm-hmm.
our money together and pulling our assets together.
Mm-hmm.
And, and doing things in unity. Like right now, we can't afford
Right.
not to pay attention.
Right.
We can't afford to right now.
Right,
And I'm
right.
just saying it.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Gail Perry-Mason,
Thank you.
Breaking Barriers in Financial Literacy, a financial guru, Detroit Difference Makers. We're about giving people their flowers while they're here and celebrating. And we thank you for the many contributions with investing in young people, helping people get a start in the financial service industry, with your mentorship, your leadership, the books that you put out. And we just want to celebrate you and thank you for all the work you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you first and foremost for hosting this podcast. Thank you for inviting me. And it's an honor to be here. So thank you. Thank you, Charlie. You need to be on everybody's board of directors. This podcast right here. This podcast right here.
All right. I need to get off the boards.
All right.
So that concludes our podcast. Want to encourage everyone to let me put the slide up again to check out her books. You can get on Amazon. Girl, Make Your Money Grow. Money Matters for families. Follow Gail Perry-Mason on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Check out the website for those who are interested. Can people support can they make donations to the camp?
Yeah, right. Donate button.
Yeah, so donate, support the young people who are in a head start. I wish I had something like this when I was growing up.
Me too.
I could be further ahead financially.
Me too.
All right. So if you guys find value in what we're doing, please like, share, subscribe. And I have I'm coming live Wednesday. Gentleman, very interesting. He built a staffing company and done some great things here in Detroit. And I'm going to feature him on Wednesday. So I'm looking forward to that conversation. That'll be Wednesday at 6:00. But until next time, remember, connections matter, and think about how you can serve others and be a blessing to others. All right. So that concludes our. Hey, everyone. This is Charlie the Plug, your host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, powered by Empower You Ventures. Don't forget to subscribe so you too can be a part of the biggest empowerment network on YouTube and Facebook. We bring you weekly interviews of Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship, community involvement, also reaction to business news and community news. This does not happen without your support. Thank you.